All right, now it started recording. Okay. All right. So today we have with us my friend Robyn that I've known for a long time. The reason why I wanted to bring Robyn on Your Average Thinker is because Robyn put up a post one day on Facebook where she was walking her dog in the park and she noticed that certain people talk, some people speak back, some don't, or whatever. And then I got to thinking personally, like about just my relationships with people and how, unfortunately, I've lost a lot of like friends, close friends over the last 2 years, just as we grow and evolve in life. Sometimes people don't necessarily fit in our box. And so we have to let that go. And so I kind of got a little depressed thinking about the fact that I don't have any friends here. I don't have much family here, and so then it circled back to me thinking, okay, well, Robyn posted that she seems to still have a good attitude. And then I started thinking about all of the things that you've been through in life. And I was just like, whoa. I was like, she's still here and she has a positive attitude. Like, what the heck? So I kind of felt stupid, like just having pity on myself, because it's like I haven't been, like, everybody has their own struggles and everybody's been through things in life. But certain things that you've been through, a lot of people would not know how to handle, and they would not still be here, honestly. So I give you a lot of credit and a lot of praise just for still having that positive, godlike spirit in the midst of all the different things that you've seen in life. So that's the reason why I brought you on here, because I want to show other people that no matter what you go through, you still can be blessed. You can still thrive. You know what I mean?
You absolutely can.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
when I asked you the question, what was the first thing that went through your mind when I say, hey, I want to bring you on, I want to do this interview? It's kind of personal, but what made you say, okay?
Well, okay. So my first thought when you asked me, wait, can I cuss on this iPhone? Can I
Yes.
cuss on? Oh, no. So the first thing was like, oh shit, like I don't know if I want to do that or whatever. So, but the more I thought about it, I was just like, hmm. And then I told you, one of my Facebook memories popped up, and it was when crazy stuff happens to me, I sometimes will post it on Facebook or whatever, because in my mind, I'm like, am I the only person that deals with stuff like this? Am I the only person that this stuff happens to? And it was just a stranger. Like, I didn't know this lady from anything. I did not know this lady. And to keep the story short about it, I got some really bad news and I was in the hospital, and I had a friend drop me off at the emergency room. So I was there by myself. I didn't have anybody. I really didn't think it was anything. I thought I was going to get discharged, and us medical folks are the worst. So I got some really bad news, and I was just crying. Like, I was in my little curtain in the emergency room with the sheets. There's no rooms. You're just in a bed. And I'm just in there, and I'm like, I'm by myself. And I said it out loud because I was on the phone. And I was like, I'm here by myself. And this older Hispanic lady just came around the curtain, and she peeked her head in, and she said, can I hug you? And you know me, Mo, hold on, like, what? But this lady just came and sat with me. She just sat with me. She sat with me, she hugged me, and she's like, you're not alone. You always have someone. This lady gave me her phone number, and she's like, if there is something that you need and you want to talk to somebody, you can always call me. And I was just thinking, like, everything that I like, kind of what you said in the beginning, everything that I've been through, I feel like there's always been somebody there for me. Even the least expected person, somebody has always stepped into a position to be there for me. And I think a lot of times we forget that, to keep that positivity and to keep that emotion, like somebody's going to be there for you. Pray about it, like whatever, whoever you're praying to. And I didn't realize how many times that had happened to me in my life. And I was just like, man, like, I want to do this. Does this happen to other people? Like, are other people in these type of situations and they don't even realize it, that they've been put in these impossible situations, and whoever their higher being is put somebody in position to help them and to just maybe just for emotional support. Like that lady didn't physically do anything for me, but the fact that she sat in there with me, her husband was in the next bay with a broken leg. She was like, he okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna stay over here with you. And she did. She stayed there until one of my girlfriends got there.
That's
and
beautiful.
we ran into her again at the pharmacy getting my medications or whatever. And my homegirl just hugged her and was like, thank you for being here for my friend.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'm crying, she crying, the lady crying. I'm just like, man.
Yeah.
But it made me think when I saw that memory, I was like, I really feel like maybe there are people that need that dose of positivity or just resiliency in itself.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because I feel like a lot of the younger people coming up, a lot of them don't have it. I mean, when you look at the suicides and the homicides and the mass shootings, and it's just like, what are these people being taught? What kind of, like, they have no resiliency, no backbone, they can't think for themselves. You know, or they're leaning towards things that are more negative, and that's corrupting people's minds and stuff like that. But I'm glad. So you posted that, and that kind of reminded you of what, like, that made you say, well, maybe I should go ahead and do this and put my story
it
out
made me
there,
feel like maybe I should speak on this because maybe there are people that do need to hear it. Maybe it's better for it to be said than people just wondering.
Okay. I like that. All right. So let's get into it. Where are you from?
I am born and raised in Youngstown, Ohio.
Okay. And did you grow up with your mom and father, or just mom, or what?
Yes, I grew up both my parents, my mom and my dad. My
You have
dad was
siblings?
Army, and we ended up here in Youngstown.
Okay. So you were an Army brat. You guys moved around and stuff
Well,
like that?
he got out before I was born. He
Oh,
was
okay.
out. Yeah, he was out long before I came later. And
Okay. Well,
they
you
were
were,
in their 30s
oops.
by the time they had me. Yeah.
Okay. And how many siblings do you have?
I have two older brothers.
Two older brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then, and are both of your parents still here, or?
Both of my parents have passed away. My dad passed away in 2003, and my mom passed away in 2008.
Okay. All right. And so your dad, how old were you when your father passed away?
I was at Right Pat, so I think I was 23.
Okay. So did that military background, or knowing that he was in the military, did that shape your thoughts about coming in the military, joining the Air Force? And why didn't you go Army like he was? Like, what made you?
No, honestly, like real talk, my dad, when I said I wanted to join the military, my dad's like, okay. My mom's like, no. But my dad's like, okay. And he's like, well, he was like, you could go to the military. He was like, but you're not going to the Army.
Okay.
And I
Why?
was just like, why? And he's like, the Army is made for a special set of people, and you are not that kind of person. And I was just like, at first I took offense to it, but then, you know, as time went on and you get stationed in certain places with certain situations,
He knew you was
I was
bougie.
like,
He knew you
he
was
knew what he
bougie.
was talking about.
He's like, she ain't gonna be able to handle the Army. This ain't for her.
He knew this
Yep.
was not that. This
So
was
you're
not
grateful
that.
for
He knew
that,
I
right?
wasn't gonna make it. So,
Yeah. What
but
about your
no,
brothers? Did
it
they?
didn't necessarily influence me to go into the military, but it definitely it prepared me for it. Like my dad was Army. He yelled, he screamed, he fussed all the time. So it was just like when I went to basic, it was just like, oh, okay,
I'm used to
that's
this.
what this is. I was just like, all right.
Okay.
So it just kind of made me ready for it, I guess.
Yeah, he prepared you unknowingly.
Mm-hmm.
So what made you decide to join the military anyway? Did you come in right after high school?
I came in right after high school.
Oh,
My senior year, my brother got killed. My senior year, my brother was killed, and I didn't know how to deal with my grief or my emotion. Being here, being in Youngstown, I was not able to be here and be okay. So in my mind, I was just like, I gotta go. I need to leave. I'm gonna join the military. Like in my mind, that was the quickest way for me to get away and not have to be reminded of my brother's death. So I was like, I'm out. And my dad supported the idea, so I left.
I heard that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever deal with the grief?
Through time, I was able to deal with it, but it was still hard. I was 17. So I didn't know how to deal with that. Like at that point, all the losses that I had had in my life, they were old. So you kind of deal with death of the elderly a little different. So he was 18. So I wasn't really able to process that. But it took me a really long time. But it happened eventually. Eventually, I made peace with it. I was able to kind of work my way through it.
Okay. And what about your other brother? What is he up to?
He is in Youngstown
Okay.
too. That's where I'm at now.
Okay.
When I
You are
retired, I came
currently
back
back
here.
home. Okay.
So if I say here, I mean Youngstown.
Okay.
He is still in Youngstown, also working, just maintaining.
Are you guys close since it's literally just you two left in your immediate family?
Um, we weren't, but we have gotten so much better with that. When I was still in the military, I mean, you got to think because I wasn't here.
Yep.
I didn't move back here until I retired.
Yep.
And my brother and I are 10 years apart. He is 10 years older than me.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I came
Age
later. So, he's 10 years older than me. So, our relationship was kind of like more parental. That whole like, I'm older than you, I could tell you what to do thing.
Yep.
So, as we've now gotten older, we do way better with one another. And we used to joke like, I know mommy probably think we was gonna kill each other if we were left alone with one another because we did not get along very well. And my mother used to try to be the mediator between the two of us over the years. But now we joke like, man, she'd be so proud if she could see that we could be with each other and hang out and not be like at each other's throats.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's good. So you did how many years in the Air Force?
I did 20.
And what was your job, your career field?
I was a medic.
You were a medic. Okay, for 20 years. And so you retired at what rank?
E7, Master Sergeant.
Okay. All right. So overall, how would you say your Air Force career was? Good, bad, indifferent? I know there's times where shit's crazy and it could be better, or there's great times and, but overall, are you grateful for the opportunity? And is it something that you would encourage others to do?
That question,
I know it's layered. It's a lot.
It is. It's layered. Do I have any regrets over my career? No. I do not regret joining the military. It was the best thing that I needed to do for me when I did it. And the decisions that I made to stay in with re-enlistments and everything, it was the best decision for me when I did it. I would tell people to join. I would recommend the military for somebody who doesn't quite know what they want to be when they grow up, and they're not really sure. Like, they know they want to do something. They're not lazy. They're not just waiting on some money to fall in their lap, but they want to do something, but they just haven't figured out what their niche is or what they're interested in. Mm-hmm. I would recommend the military for them. Or somebody that's looking for some type of structure in their life.
Yeah,
I would recommend that for them.
Okay.
But
it's not for everybody though, right?
I was just about to say, for those who have a problem, if you have a problem with structure, if you have a problem with being told what to do, this is not your thing. This is not your blessing. Don't.
But a lot of people aren't self-aware enough to say that though. Like they don't go in thinking or decide not to go in because they know themselves like that. A lot of people go in thinking that they can take constructive criticism and then they get in and those are those ones like, why are you even in here?
You're right. You are absolutely correct. So I'll even make it even a simpler thing. If you get mad If anybody corrects you on something, no matter how they say it, how nice or how mean they say it, if you get angry when somebody corrects you, if you're mad at your coaches because they pulled you out, or you're mad at them because they didn't put you in, or you're trying to fight because somebody cracked a joke on you, military ain't for you.
Facts.
Is that, I mean, that's just a basic thing. Like, if you can't take very simple things that normal people are like, okay. If you can't deal with that in the military, it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
Regardless of what branch you're in, right?
No, that's what I said. The military in general is not going to work. It's going to end faster if you're Army or Marine. It might last a little longer if you're in the Air Force, but either way, it's going to come to an end abruptly if you can't handle someone saying something to you. If someone saying something to you is going to have you super angry or ready to fight, it's not going to work for you.
What would you say your biggest lesson is that you learned while being in the military?
You're disposable.
Whoa. What does that mean?
And I did not learn that until 17 years in. Wow. I didn't know.
What happened?
And I blame that ignorance on myself, because I've had people tell me, but I ain't believe it.
You don't believe it until it happened to you, right?
Right. No, they're not gonna do me like that. Girl, they will do you just like that.
Yeah.
What happened for me, I got sick. I was diagnosed with breast cancer toward the end of my career. And there were a few people in my leadership chain that they were really supportive and they were really amazing. And then you had the higher ups from them. They were like, med boarder. She could get a medical board. We could go ahead and we could do a medical discharge. And in my mind, I'm like, wait, what? What?
Okay.
Y'all about to kick me out and what? And I was only 17 years in, coming up on my 18-year mark. And if you get kicked out before you're 20, you don't get the concurrent payments of disability and pension. You don't get your pension. So that means the previous 17 years of my life, my whole adult life, meant nothing. Like, it just goes away. Yeah, they were willing to pay me.
And yeah,
they were willing to pay me disability, but they, like, how abruptly they were ready to, I felt, kick me out just didn't sit well with me. Like, it left a really sour taste in my mouth. I hate that that's the way my career ended. And it left a sour taste in my mouth, because it really made me realize, like, we're really that disposable. Like, you would use somebody up their entire adult life and then be like, oh, well, you gotta go.
Right. So did somebody fight for you in order for you to get what was owed to you?
I was just about to say that. I don't feel like they fought hard enough.
Okay.
I fought hard. I did. But you know what? My current leadership at that time, I don't feel like they did. Who fought for me was previous leadership.
Whoa.
Like, I had chiefs from previous bases, like, we're going to write the congressman and we're going to write this letter and we're going to do a congressional complaint. Like, they were ready to ride for the kid. And I was just like,
wow. And that right there, that's a testament to the service that you provided while you were in. Because if you were a dirtbag, or if you just skated through 17, 18 years of service, just doing the bare minimum, nobody's going to come to your rescue. Nobody's going to have your back. Nobody's going to fight for you, period. So when you're in this thing in the military, or just doing anything in life, you got to do the best that you can. And it's always best to never burn bridges, because you never know when you're going to need somebody.
You never know. You do not know when you're going to have to cross that bridge again. You cannot go through life and be like, I'm never going to see this person again. I'm never going to cross paths with this person again. You might. And you might need that person a little later in life too. And you're going to need them to help you. Possibly. And I needed them. Like, I needed all hands on deck. What do I do? Who do I talk to? I mean, because yes, I was a senior NCO, but that was a situation I had never come across before. Like you don't know everything about everything.
Right.
So, and I had never come across this before with anybody that I supervised or anybody that I had worked with. So I'm just like, what do I do? They're about to like, what happens here? Like, what am
Yeah.
I supposed to, how do I fight this? And these
Yeah.
people are telling me like, oh, you'll be fine. You could live off a 60% disability. And I had my one of my chiefs had told me, and she's like, oh, well, if you get 100% disability and you get 100% pension, then you get 200%. So you should be good. And the fact that she did not know,
And she is the chief? My God.
she was a group superintendent, to kind of give you a little more understanding of it. The fact that you don't know what you're telling me at that point in your career, it made me so uneasy. And I was just like, these people don't know what they're talking about. And my career is on the line. And I'm
My
depending on these
life, my
people.
livelihood. Shoot.
Right. My life, this is, yeah, post-military. Like, damn that. My
Yeah.
life. Like, I have to be able, I had just bought a house.
And she wants you to live off of 60%.
I was stressed, girl. I was stressing.
Yeah.
Aside from the fact that these people just told me I have cancer. Now
Right.
you have to tell me I'm about to not have no job. I'm about to get kicked out my house. I'm gonna lose my house because I can't pay the mortgage. And I might die because I got cancer. And y'all are just like,
You can't even properly heal. You know what I'm saying? With all of
if
that.
I could count on my hand how many times people told me, "Oh, you'll be fine."
Oh yeah, of course. That's the easiest thing to say, you know, just some fluff, because they don't know what to say really. Or
But you're saying this to someone who is going through a very emotional time in their life. Like, I was stressed. Like, I was not okay.
yeah.
And everybody just kept telling me, you're gonna be okay. And I was just,
So how did you pull through all of that? Like the cancer, let's deal with that. How was that? I mean, I can only imagine.
that was, it's weird, and it's gonna sound weird when I say it, but it was horrible and amazing at the same time. It showed me so much about people, about me. It showed me a lot about myself. The people that, like you said, you through life you change and you don't have the same friends that you once had, and you know, you deal with people differently. I realized my friends that I thought, those people that I was like, oh, they're gonna be there, they're gonna help me, they got me. Those were not the people who were there. They were not the people that I just didn't even, I don't know. And it's not even to say that they're not my friends. We are friends. We just, you know, we talk every now and again, like, hey girl, how you been? What, catch up maybe once a year or something. And that doesn't make them not my friend. But with life and you're working, you just, you know, you kind of just lose touch or whatever. But when some of my friends did find out, they were there. And I mean, people I hadn't seen in 5-6 years. But they jumped their behinds on the plane, and my friends were on a rotation. And I mean, I tell you, people were on a weekly rotation. Like, okay, when does Crystal leave? I'm gonna fly in. When does Africa leave? I'm gonna fly in. When is your aunt gonna be there? Okay, she's gonna be there during this time. I'm gonna come in. Like, everybody was just stacked on top of each other. I always had somebody to take me to chemo. I always, at every surgery I had, there was somebody in my house. Somebody was there with me. They made sure I was okay. And I was so appreciative of all of them for that, because it wasn't expected. Like, it wasn't. And my aunt had told me something when I first got sick. You know how older people tell you stuff and you're just like, okay. Like, but she told me, she said, if you really want to know who your friends are, get sick or need them for something. And I was
there
like,
you go.
She was absolutely like, you about to see. But this was before I even had got sick. This was kind of early when I first got the diagnosis. And she's like, you're going to see who your real friends are. And I was just like, Okay, everybody came, and I was just like, they love me, like,
That's
oh.
right.
And I was just like, okay, like it, but it showed me who was gonna be there for me. I mean, the disease itself and the process of everything that I had to go through with that, yes, that was horrible, and it, I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
Yeah.
But it kind of all worked out though. And I say that because I previously said they were trying to kick me out. They were trying to kick me out because of my MS. Even before I got cancer, they were trying to kick me out about my multiple sclerosis. I've had multiple sclerosis since I was an A1C, since I was like in my early 20s, like early in my career, I was diagnosed. You waited till the end of my career to decide that it's a problem and you want to kick me out for it now?
Dirty.
And then
Dirty.
I got diagnosed with cancer. So, but my diagnosis with cancer, it stopped everything because it was brought to their attention that you can't kick somebody out of the military while they're sick. You have to fix them first, and then you can kick them out. You can't kick them out while they're sick. So my treatment was almost 2 years between surgeries and chemotherapy and radiation therapy. It pretty much stretched out, and then they med boarded me. So
Okay.
that pretty much stretched me out like 2
20 years
years. So
apart.
the
Yeah,
one thing that they were trying to stop was me hitting my 20.
of course.
I hit my 20 in the middle of an MEB. So they
Awesome.
couldn't kick me out. They couldn't do anything with me at that point. I made it to, so although cancer, it sucked, the beauty in it was I was able to get to the goal that I was trying to get to. The one thing that I was fighting so hard for that was owed to me was my pension. And I was able to get there.
Okay. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Um, is there anybody specifically in your life that you credit to helping you get to the point that you are now, as far as just the positivity or the support that you got?
It's a lot of people.
A lot. You know what? That's good. And you don't have to name them all, because I know it sometimes it's too many to name. Um, is there anybody that you didn't expect to be there and was there more than what you thought or hoped or dreamed?
Um, who was there for me the most that I could think of? Honestly, that I didn't expect, and this is not to say that she shouldn't have been there, but Lashaundra Miller.
Oh, okay. I remember her.
Yeah, she like, and it wasn't even that I didn't expect her. I didn't expect the level of support, I guess.
Well, I
Like,
remember back at Right Pack, you guys were cool.
she
And
was
then,
my roommate at one
yeah,
point.
and then
We were roommates at
y'all
one
didn't
point. So
really.
that's why I said it's not, it wasn't that I didn't expect her to be there for me, but the way that she was there for me, like she literally, Sean has always been like a big sister to me anyway. So when I called her with this news, because I knew she had traveled that journey already, she had experienced that already.
Wow.
So, and that was the only person that I knew that had been down that path. So
Okay.
I was just like, this is who I want to reach out to. So that I reached out to her probably within like days of finding out.
Wow.
And she just stopped me in my tracks and she's like, this is what you need to do. And she literally gave me like a blow by blow, like, don't do this, do this. Figure out what's most comfortable for you, do this. And it
Okay.
was really just like in a time of turmoil where you don't know what to do and you're just like, you don't know what's next, you don't know what to do, you don't know what's coming. She kind of just calmed all that for me. And I do well with instruction. I'm good with just give me everything that I need to do and I'm gonna go that way.
She gave you a blueprint.
And so the unknown, I get nervous and I don't really know what to do with the unknown.
Yeah,
So
a lot of it
she
does.
kind of just calmed my storm.
Okay.
And she was just there for me. She was like, make yourself a list, figure out when you're going to need people there. She the one came up with the schedule, for when people are coming, when people are leaving, who's flying in, who's going to be there for me. She put herself on the calendar. When do you need me to come? I will be there. And she took me to chemo. She was just, she was that instruction that I needed. Like, she helped guide me through something where I had no guidance. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what was about to happen. And she kind of pre-warned me on some of the things that were going to occur. It didn't happen just like her situation, but it was,
And it
I was
prepared you
like, okay,
just in case
yes,
it did happen. You already had in your head what
yep,
could happen. So
yep.
that's awesome. And you're speaking to somebody, you're not just reading blogs online or watching videos. It's somebody who
No,
actually went through it that's telling you, hey, this could happen, you
it
know.
is.
So
And she
that's
came and
awesome.
she made sure she was there for me. She made sure I had everything that I needed. Girl, she came with t-shirts.
What did it say? Fuck cancer? What she have on there?
What did it say? It was like, I don't even remember what it says, but it had the cancer symbol on it or whatever. And it was like, I think it's we can get through this. And
Yeah.
she had one on too. And I think it had little sister on it. And it just like, it was just so touching to me. And I was just like, thank you. And I appreciated her really being there for me. And it wasn't that I didn't expect her to be there for me. I just didn't expect her to be there the way she was.
To that extent.
Yeah, I expected a few phone calls and, just how you been, how are you, how you feeling. She came full speed.
She loved you.
Yes, and I love her, and I'm so glad that she was there for me with that
Yeah,
because I needed her.
absolutely. That's beautiful. I love that. So getting through that. So did you end up
Mhm.
having a double mastectomy, or what did you end up doing?
I did. I went ahead and I had breast cancer on my left side. I went ahead and did a double mastectomy just because I didn't want to ride that ride again. So I
Just
was just
in
like,
case.
let's just take them both, and I'm good with that. Like, I didn't want it to come back. They couldn't really give me an answer as to why I got it. I'm not genetically prone to it. There wasn't any indicators that were like, okay, this is why. I had no family genetics in it, so they couldn't really figure it out. So I was just like, okay, we don't know why I got this, so it might come back. So let's just go ahead and do a double mastectomy, so I won't have to worry about this happening again. So that was kind of my thought process with that.
Okay. And I'm sure that whole process was interesting and
Oh, that was horrible.
grueling, and I can only imagine. Because I'm sensitive, there, right? So like
Mm-hmm.
whenever I see pictures or think about people that have gone through that, it freaks me out. And it also freaks me out so much to the point that I'm 43. Literally 2 months ago was the first time I got a mammogram. I would not get it done. They would call me when I was still active duty. I'm like, you're overdue. Your one nurse, she's like, I will come with you. I will sit with you. I will. And I'll just be like, nope, nope. And then I got out of the military without getting it done. And I was like, yes. And then I kept meeting people who had went through cancer, and they was like, young
Mm-hmm.
lady, come on, you got to do it. And then I was at the car dealership, and there was an older lady, and me and old people, I love them, right? So I'm sitting there chit
I
chatting
know
with this
they
old
love me and I
lady.
love them.
Yep. I'm sitting there chit chatting with this old lady and her best friend. And people like to tell you their life story. I don't even know how we got on the
Mm-hmm.
subject, but she was telling me about, how she went through breast cancer and how her grandsons have been there for her. And I was like, oh my gosh, you went through breast cancer. What happened? Da, da, da. So she's telling me the story, and I was just like, I was like, I'm scared. I can't. She was like, she looked me in my face. She said, oh, you're gonna do it. She was like, you're gonna she goes, it's gonna save. She goes, please promise me. And I was just like, but at that point, within like that 2 week period, I had met like maybe 3 people who had went through it. And so it was just like, and they were calling me about getting it done. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay, this is God telling me He's
Just
sending
do it.
people to just do it. But one of the reasons why is I was just afraid of the whole machine pushing down And it goes way deeper than that of like, being molested as a kid. And one of the things
Mhm.
that was a focal point was my chest, because in 5th grade I had a size
You
B
had
cup.
boobs.
So I was already, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so I'd always been like, I'm not the type of person to really show my cleavage or anything like that.
Mhm.
I dressed like a tomboy. It was just, so when I would get my or my pap smears, and then they would do
Mhm.
the exam,
Mhm.
it freaked me out. I got to a point where I told them, don't do the chest exam. I don't. And one of the doctors was like, "Can I ask you a question?" And I was like, "What?" She was like, "Have you ever been sexually abused? Have you ever?"
Mhm.
And I just started crying like crazy.
Oh.
And she was just like, "Yeah." She goes, "I think, the reason why you don't want these exams is because of that." And she was like, "I just suggest you get some therapy or whatever, but it's necessary since you're not going to let
Yeah.
me do it. Make sure you do it at home, learn how to da da da." I don't even
Yep.
do it in the shower. I was like, whatever. But it became a thing. And I was just like, and so, of course, I started bringing it up in therapy, trying to understand
Mhm.
where it came from or whatever, but I was able to get over it. I finally was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna just do it. I was like, I'm gonna just pray. I'm gonna take something. I'm gonna find
Yeah.
something that's gonna calm me down before.
Mhm.
And I got there, and it wasn't even that bad. I was like,
No.
I was
That
crying
was
the whole
the
time.
least invasive of anything that I had to go through. That was the that was the very minimum
How
because
did you even find out though?
self detection because I do my breast exams. Because
Wow.
I do self exams. I felt the lump. I felt the lump and um I was just like, man, because but I was on my cycle. So they say you're not supposed to do your exams when you're on your cycle because your fibrous tissue or whatever. So you might feel a lump where there's not really a lump. So I was like, oh, I'll give it a little bit. So still felt it. And I'm just like, what is this? But at the time I was going through the MEB. So I'm like,
For the MS?
yeah, I was going through my MEB for the MS. So I was like, I'm not even about to address this. I'm like you. I'm like, I'm not dealing with this right now. I was like, I'm not dealing with this right now. And I told my aunt, my dad's sister, I remember telling her, I was like, look, I'll tell you something, but we have a really good relationship. So I'm like, don't freak out, but don't judge me for it. And she's like, okay. So I tell her, I was like, I think I feel a lump in my left breast, but I'm not even going to address this until this medical board stuff is over with because I just can't deal. Like I can't handle any more bad news. I just can't. So I was like, I'm just gonna wait. I'll deal with one thing at a time. So she's like, okay. She ain't say nothing, and then she kind of doubled back on it, and she was like, I really think you should just get somebody to look at it. So I was like, I played with the idea for maybe like a week. And funny thing, I worked in women's health. I was the flight chief. So there was really no reason for me not to get this addressed. So I literally just went into work and I went to my medical director's office and I was like, hey, can I talk to you? And she's like, yeah, what's up? And I was like, I closed the door. So she's like, okay. And I was like, I think it's a lump in my breast. And can you feel this to see if, and like, we're literally in the room with like, in her office and she's like feeling through my shirt and she's like, I don't like it. She's like, I don't like it. She was like, you need to get scanned. And I'm just like, and they did a mammogram that day. So I had my mammogram and they saw 3 lumps. I only felt one. So it was only one nodule that I felt, but they found 3 lumps. So then the story just kind of went from there. But I did
Wow.
find it through self detection. So I would recommend any woman every month, ladies, you need to definitely do your self inspections to make sure, do your breast exams, just feel and make, if anything feels weird and you're not sure if it's moving or not, just go get somebody to check it out.
Good message. Good word. Yeah, because people need to hear it. I mean, you have no family history.
There
You
was
don't
no
smoke, you don't
way.
do anything like that. So there's no reason for you to get it. So when you did get it, it's like, so yeah, people should be doing their self exams, me included, and getting their yearly mammograms if you're of the age, right?
Absolutely. Definitely go get it done. Because you just never know. And it's better to find out early than to find out after the fact. Because I do have a friend that found out just because her first mammogram, she had her first mammogram when she turned 40, and they found the lump. I mean, it was stage one, and it was like it hadn't progressed, and they were able to catch it really early, but it was still there.
Yeah.
It was still there. And what if she wouldn't have went?
Right.
To let something like that sit for a year or two is just not. It can mean that's the scary part. It's a difference between life and death. Like that's the scary part. It is it could be, because if it progressed quickly, what could have been a stage one might turn into a stage four, and now you're fighting for your life.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I'm glad you are here, and I'm glad you are good. How many years
Me
has it
too.
been since the mastectomy and the treatments and all that?
Everything, like I said, everything kind of worked out. Everything went well. I was super glad when all of my medical treatment and everything was over. They pretty much take care of everything in regards to, yes, I had a double mastectomy or whatever, but your insurance will pay for you to get all of that fixed. If you want to have it fixed, they will pay for it. So that kind of worked out on that end. And then I was able to retire peacefully and not have to worry about right, not have to worry about the financial portion of things. I was not homeless. I was able to
Amen.
keep a roof over my head. All of my worries were, were taken care of. So I was good. I was able to retire. They PCS'd me to Wright Patterson, so I retired at Wright Pat, where I
Okay. By
started.
the house. Yeah.
Yep. So where I started is where I ended. Also,
Awesome.
so I ended up staying up here in Ohio for a little while, just in preparation to my next chapter of my life. I went ahead and started dabbling in real estate and trying to get my rental properties together and just moving on
What
to the
made you
next
go
chapter
that
of my
route?
life.
What made you go that route? Real estate. That's like a dream of mine.
Real estate.
Yes.
So that made me go in that direction. I had bought that house at my previous base, which was Nellis. So I bought a house in Las Vegas, and when the military moved me, I had to rent out my house. So I realized, like, once I moved here to Ohio. It was, that was kind of nice having that little income coming in, and I was like, okay, it was cool. I had an amazing property manager, so he made life super easy. So he made the whole landlord thing seem flawless and just so easy. And I was like, okay.
You just give him his little 2% and everything is taken care of on that end.
Yep.
Awesome.
Everything was cool with that. And I was just like, okay, this is something that I would like to do. And then when I moved back here to Ohio, I realized that, the cost of living isn't as high here. It's a little easier for me to buy a house here than like take out a loan and have a mortgage and all of that stuff. Like, you could relatively find something on the cheaper end and have it paid off fairly quickly. So it sparked my interest, and I was like, okay, I would be interested in doing that. So I did a little deep dive into passive income, I get it and what it really means, and started taking classes for real estate because I thought I wanted to be a real estate agent. And then I realized while I was going to school for that I did not want to be a real estate agent. I just want to be a landlord. I don't want to sell anything to you. I don't want to have to sell you on. I don't want to need you. I want you to need me. Because I feel like the conversation is different when I'm trying to talk you into something versus you're trying to get something from me.
Right.
So I realized I'm not that salesperson type of person. So I was like, no, that's not going to work for me. So I was like, okay. So I accepted that, and it piqued my interest. I'm more interested in anything that's passive income. It's not even just real estate. It's really anything that I can do that's going to just give me money and I don't have to do a lot of stuff for it. I'm on board.
I heard that.
And I'm
So
very
how
much
many
so on the
properties?
entrepreneur train.
Uh-huh. So you're on the
Because I
entrepreneur.
don't want to work for people.
I heard
so,
that.
so I'm very much so down in that. I went down that rabbit hole now after retirement.
So what else? What else are you? How many properties do you have right now?
Currently, there are 3. Yep, currently there are
Whoa.
3. So my goal is 5.
Okay.
My goal is 5 before I leave Ohio. I want to have 5 active, lived in rental properties before I leave Ohio because I want to relocate to Florida.
Okay.
So my game plan is to have those 5 properties, and those 5 properties should be able to float my bills basically. Like it should be able to float all of my bills because that's my goal with the whole passive income is for it to take care of all of my bills so that my checks that I have coming in are mine and mine
Right.
alone to do what I need to do with it. So that's
I
the
heard.
game plan.
So 3 down, 2 to go.
Hmm.
And is your goal to do that before the end of this year or next year or?
So you know what? I stopped doing that. I stopped putting timelines. I stopped putting a time on it because it gets it gets discouraging for me. For me. Because then I feel like if I put a year on it, like when I first retired, I was like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna be out of here in a year. I've been here for 3 years. So I'm just like, so then I kind of got into a funk because I was like, man, I'm not meeting any of my goals. I'm not doing any of the things that I said I was going to do. But in reality, I had the properties. Like we were in the process of fixing one of them up. We were in the process of doing the other one. Like it was like it the train was moving. It just wasn't moving as fast as I had set my timeline. So what I realized is you set an unrealistic goal. Like a year was just not enough time for you to do that. So it's not that you're not progressing. It just is not progressing to the time that you thought it was supposed to progress. And the timeline that I set was just my ignorance. I had never done this before. How I know it's only going to take a year? Like what? Like you've never done this before. Like how are you to say that this only takes a year to do? So I realized I was not being realistic with myself. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop putting a time on it, and I'm just gonna say this is what I want to do, and then I'm just gonna do it. And if it takes me 2 years to do it, if it takes me 3 years to do it, I still know what my goal is. So, and I've even told people like my goals haven't changed. I might have to turn down a couple different routes to get there, but my goal is still the same. Like I'm still reaching for the same goal. I just might have to go down a couple extra roads to get there, but I'm still going to get it done.
Absolutely. Well, that's awesome. Is there anything else on the forefront for you besides real estate? Anything else you're interested in?
Mm, business wise, that's kind of it for me. I got a few things that I really want to dabble into, but I haven't quite figured out. I have to get the real estate portion flowing first, and once that's flowing, I definitely want to see myself owning like the coin laundromats or whatever, and like the vending machines and car washes. And I'm telling you, my brain is all the way like these are the things that I'm interested in. These are the things that I'm trying to do. So those are all like on my list of things to look into and
Okay.
eventually get into.
I like that. I was thinking about the vending machine thing as well. And then the laundry machine or the coin laundry. Yeah, that's because I had to go to the laundromat probably about 6 months ago before I moved in here,
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, they in here making a killing, because I mean, they made you get a card, and then it literally cost like $5 to like wash, and I was like, why the heck? But then it was cheaper to dry. So I'm like, okay, I see how it's balancing out here, but the place was clean. You know what I'm saying? It was privately owned. It was a husband and wife. They were coming out cleaning, making sure, are you good? Do you need help with the machine? Da-da-da. Like, they were really nurturing the place, and it was, felt comfortable. And
Yeah.
then my sister bragged about some laundry place that she went to. She said they had TVs, they had a pool table in there. I saw one laundromat had a pizza shop attached to it. I was like, you know what? If I can sit here, do my laundry, and feed my kids while we waiting on stuff to dry, you know what I'm saying? And it's a nice,
And he could keep himself
environment.
busy. He got stuff to play with. He got stuff to do. You don't have to worry about it. And it's a I cannot remember his name to save my life, but it's a guy that I follow on TikTok, and he's in like Southern Ohio somewhere. I don't even know where the man is at, but like he has these not laundromats, but the coin laundromats or whatever, and he like he owns the vending machines in there. He owns the laundry machines in there. You can buy the laundry detergent dispensers on the wall. Like all of that belongs to him. It's like a video game thing in there that belongs. Like all the coins that you are putting in that building, it all belongs to him. He owns the building. So he owns all of the laundry machines, all of the food you eating in there, the supplies that you forgot to bring, your laundry detergent, your softener, like all of that stuff you can buy in there.
Yeah.
And he goes to Sam's, loads up, fills up his stuff, and he's making some decent money every time he does a haul. Like you emptying that thing every 4 days or so, and you're over $1,000 worth of coins.
Probably more than that.
And I'm just like, oh,
yeah,
I could make 1,000 every couple days.
Yeah,
let's say once a week, I can make $1,000 a week. Oh, okay.
Listen, I am an investor, and I like to take risks. So if you ever want to work together on one of these ventures, you let me know.
I got you.
Because I'll be trying to find things to get into, since real estate didn't really work out for me. Because I was like, when I retire, I'm going to buy me a multifamily. I'm going to live in one. Yeah. I'm going to fix it up. Then I'm going to move and da-da-da. And then COVID happened, right? And then everything inflated up crazy. So I couldn't afford nothing. And I'm just like, okay, God, now I gotta switch my whole thing up, because the plan that I had for me, it never goes the way you expect it to. So you just have to adjust and move,
It does. And that's why I said, like, it's a couple extra roads in there that I've had to take, but you kind of just gotta just wait it out. It's gonna the real estate, it's gonna bust. Like, it's gonna come back down.
I'm waiting. Listen, I'm waiting. Trust me.
I'm like, just wait. It's gonna come back down, and that's gonna be your time to shine. When all of these people that can't afford these mortgages, and the bubble will burst, and then it'll come back down, and then that'll be your time to grab what you can grab.
Yeah.
But you had the right idea.
Huh?
You had the right idea with the whole multifamily and living in one. Definitely a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the goal. So we'll see how it goes. So let's spice it up a little bit. How was your love life?
Do
you have a love life?
I do now. Like, I do now. Actually, it's good. It's good now. Couple of rough patches, but for the last year, I met someone, and because, like I said, I retired here in Youngstown or whatever, and I mean, I'll be real, girl, I grew up in the hood. This is the hood. I knew it was the hood, and I knew what I was coming back to. So I was just like, dang, my life is just on pause until I relocate. Because I'm just like, I'm not going to meet anybody here. And that was really my thought process. And my family friends would tease me like, You ain't Rapunzel. Ain't nobody gonna break in your house and come meet you. You gotta go outside. You gotta go meet people. And I'm just like, I don't want to. I don't want to. Like, I'm gonna stay in the house. And they're just like, you're not gonna meet anybody by staying in the house. And I'm like, okay, if y'all say so. Guess I ain't gonna meet anybody then. But didn't even have to leave my yard. Met him anyway. I was like, see, all of y'all was wrong. God knew. He just sent them right to my house.
God knew.
I ain't have to go nowhere.
But you know that's not realistic for a lot of women, right?
I know, right? I'm gonna prove everybody wrong.
So, ladies, it may have worked for Miss Robyn, but it ain't gonna work for you. Okay, you're gonna have to get outside.
You probably gotta leave the house. You probably gotta leave.
So, what is your thoughts on like the whole? What are your thoughts on modern dating and modern women and these new terms that get on my fucking nerves? Submission, manosphere, high value. Just like what is your thoughts on that? And did any of that have any bearing on your relationships with men, or just meeting a bunch of frogs and not finding your prince? Like, how has that affected you as far as dating, or just even communicating with the opposite sex?
My thought process on it, first of all, dating is trash. And absolutely. Yeah, I'm so glad that I met somebody and I don't have to deal with these people no more. But I hated it. Oh God, I hated it. Oh, the dating pool has pee in it and some poop. And no, the whole high value man, and like, I feel like all of it is just trash or whatever. I feel like you see value in something that is not valuable, sir. But and I feel like the dudes that I'll speak to my experience. I can't put that on every man, but the men that I experience, the ones that had their stuff together, or you know what? I'm not even gonna say had their stuff together. You're a functional adult. You're an adult. You're a grown up. Big whoop. I'm a grown up too. So the ones that got a car, you got a job, you got a roof over your head that you pay the bills at, and you take care of your children that you do have, if you have children. You're a functional adult.
That's basics.
This does not make you high value. This just makes you a functional adult. And I feel like that's where a lot of us lose but the sad part is there's so many people that aren't doing those things. The women are like flocking to these men, and they're like, oh my God, he's so amazing. And you're just like,
he doing what he's supposed to do. Yeah.
So I did not have much luck in that aspect, because I am the one that is going to tell you, you're a grown up. I've been had my own car. I've been had roof over my head. I've been paying my own bills. I was doing that at 18.
Yeah.
Like, you're 40. I wholeheartedly expect you to be paying your bills and have your own place to stay in a car. What doesn't? Who doesn't?
But there's a lot of men out there, though, our age, that don't even have those basic things, though.
I agree. So that makes the ones that do seem like they are just the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
But what people fail to realize, what I've realized is, the ones that did have those basic things or whatever, and that's cool that you have those things. I'm cool with that. They tend to, in my experience, they were up on this pedestal, like they were better than all of these other people, or even better than you as a female or whatever. And like, almost to the point where I feel like you want me to kiss your behind or chase you because you have these things. And that's just not, one, that's not how I was raised. And two, it's just not even in me. Like, I'm not chasing you. Like,
Would you
That's,
ever
I don't
chase a
know. That's
man?
no.
Have you ever chased a man?
Have I ever?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
me too.
Yes. Yes. Dumb as hell, young and dumb. Yep,
Yep.
I did.
So what do
Would
you
I
look for?
now?
You
Hmm?
said now? No, right?
No. I'm not chasing nobody. You want to go? Bye.
So what do you look for in a partner that is extraordinary or different or outside of just having the basics of what you should have as a functioning adult? What else do they need to bring to the table?
For me, I need somebody who is like-minded. We got to be on the same hustle. We got to be on the same wavelength because I need you. I don't want to try to talk you into where I'm at mentally or what I'm trying to do because I know what my goals are and I know the direction that I'm going in. So if you're going in a completely different direction and you're really not into what I'm into, I feel like it's going to be harder for me to kind of get you on board. So if you're already on board and we're already on the same wavelength as far as like where we're at in our lives, I feel like that's more so what I look for more than anything. And I look forward to growing with that person and developing with that person. So I mean, if you're into your entrepreneur stuff and you're into trying to work for yourself and you're trying to you got to have a hustle about you. Like have some kind of hustle about you and be ready to that you've already put that into motion. Then that's more so what's a selling point for me.
Okay. Makes sense. He already got to have something going for himself and on the trajectory to get to wherever he's trying to
Yeah.
go.
Like I think you're looking for a rich man or you're looking for a man to take care of you and all of that. I don't need all that. You ain't gotta be rich. You don't gotta take care of me. I mean, you're gonna live here, you gotta pay these bills. But I'm just.
Okay. So you don't
But
believe in 50-50?
huh?
Do you believe in 50-50?
No. No. Nope. Nope. I don't believe in 50-50. At one point I did though, but you know what? And that I think as I've gotten older, I've kind of done away with that. But when I was younger, yeah, I did believe in 50-50. Like I'll pay you can pay this and I'll pay yeah, I did. But now, nope.
What if you make more than him?
Um, if I make more than him, I would be willing to carry some of the load. I would be willing to help or whatever. Like I don't want you to go broke trying to pay all of the bills or whatever, and I'm just sitting here holding all my money. Like, oh
Sucks to be
well.
you.
Like no, I would never do that. I would never do that. But I do believe in. I actually was just talking about this yesterday. I was like, I'm cool with gender roles.
Me
I was
too.
talking to my cousin about it, and he's like, "What?" And I was like, "I'm cool with gender roles," because my boyfriend was cutting my grass. He was outside cutting the grass, and my cousin was like, "You got this man out there pushing this whole yard."
Yes.
Yes, yes, I do. Yes.
Is this what it's supposed to do?
So I mean, and I wouldn't even say he doesn't have to. He does not have to. This is not something that I'm like, you better go cut my grass. No, that's not the case. I don't do that. But as a man, he's like, ain't no man about to be coming over here and cutting your grass.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and that was early on in our relationship. He was like, ain't no ninja about to be coming over here trying to cut your grass. I got it. Okay.
Because if he didn't offer, then you would be looking at him sideways like, I got a yard. You're my man. To me, that's common, but
To
I don't
me,
know.
I was just like, but you know what? Everything with this person is new to me. The masculinity and the things that he takes on, it's new to me. I'm telling you, it's new
You've
to me.
never had that
So
before?
no. Not to the degree
Wow.
of what he does. No,
How old
like
is he?
45.
Okay, so he a grown ass
Yeah,
man. Okay, I like it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
How
it's
long
just
have you
like,
guys
and
been
so
dating? A
when
year?
he, yes,
Okay, what were you gonna say?
yep.
I'm sorry.
So when he says like, you don't need anything. If you need something here at this house, let me know and I'll get it done. Okay. I'm like, all right. And my friends tease me like, you bend so easily. Girl, I ain't finna fight with this man. You want to do it? Go ahead.
Thank you.
I ain't.
It feels good, don't it?
I'm not fighting with you because a lot of things, I think a lot of times people don't understand that independent woman, child, we only do it because we got to. I don't
Thank
want to.
you. Don't nobody want
Like,
to do all that.
out
If we got
here,
somebody that's gonna help us and do it for us, why not?
you tell me you got it, you got it.
Yeah. And I'll bring you a beer while you mowing the lawn, baby. I got you. You know
Thank you. You thirsty? You need something to drink? I got
that
it.
reciprocity. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
do you see the relationship um, growing and blossoming into something more?
Yes. I don't see him going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere. So he ain't going. Like, we're good. I definitely see it growing into more. So we'll
Awesome. Do
see.
you want kids?
Girl, I am 41.
And Janet was
Girl, I
getting
just
you.
told
She
you
had
he's
her baby.
45. I'm 41. We are old.
Okay.
It was there was a point that is what I wanted. I did want that, and I was looking into it, into trying, because I was going to use a donor like that. I had entertained that thought because I was single for a long time. I was single for a long time, so I didn't see it in the cards for me. So I was like, maybe I need to use a donor. um but just as that was going on, cancer happened. So it was just like, okay. And they never addressed with me uh freezing my eggs. So they never went over like freezing my eggs or anything like that. So everything just kind of went so fast with that. um they never asked me like, hey, are you interested in having a kid later, or are you considering it? They just never addressed any of that with me. And at the time I wasn't thinking about it because I had bigger worries like staying alive. So I just didn't think about that. So I things kind of took on a life of its own, and by the time it was all done, they were like, oh, you may not be able to now because we think we threw you into menopause.
Oh
So
my gosh. So between like all of the cancer treatments and things like that, that's what. Oh wow.
yeah, because the type of cancer that I did have was estrogen positive. So the medications that they put me on, it completely like stopped my cycle and all of that. So they were just like, we don't even know if your period's gonna come back. So I'm like,
Wow.
okay. So as time just kind of went on, they were like, well, it's possible for you to have a kid, but you're gonna, like, I'm gonna need a fertility doctor. Like, I'm gonna need assistance. Like, there's no way I could just do and just poof get pregnant. So I kind of, plus with age, I
Okay.
don't know that I could keep up with a toddler. So I'm cool.
That's good. I'm glad that you settled in the fact that, you're okay if it doesn't happen and you're, because you got nieces and
Yeah.
nephews and all that anyway, right?
Yep, I have my nieces. My nephew's grown; they adults. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting on my oldest nephew to give me a nephew.
You need a new baby in the picture.
Cause we got girls. We got 7 and 8 year old, my great nieces.
Oh
So it's like
wow.
I'm waiting on, like, they're 7 and 8. I want a boy. So I need
Okay.
my oldest nephew to give me my boy.
And how old is he?
30.
Oh my God, that's right. You did say your brother is 50, so he's 51. So he got it. Okay.
Yep. My brother's 51. So yeah, my nephew's
So you trying to
30.
be a great aunt?
I'm already a great aunt. I
Oh,
told you they say I got a 7 and 8 year old great nieces.
okay. I got you. I got you.
Yeah, I'm already a great auntie. So
Okay.
they might as well just go ahead and keep on pressing them out.
Right, right.
Better them than me. Better
Yeah, I
30,
heard
30
that.
year old than 41-year old. Because everybody's
Yeah.
like, oh, y'all were so close in age. And I'm like, they had them when I was 11. Like, I was a kid. We grew up together.
Grew up together. Yep.
We did.
Okay. All right. So no kids. And I mean, I can get that, 41, because when I had my child, I was 36 and I was
Mm-hmm.
considered a geriatric pregnancy. I'm like, I ain't no damn geriatric, but it's like, no, in these
Yep.
terms, you are considered
You
geriatric. So
are.
I was considered a high risk. And,
Yep.
they had to induce me because they're like, we can't let you go past this,
Yep.
point and all this other stuff. And I'm like, what the hell? And then I had complications. So it all makes sense. It's like, you are taking a risk. But I have one of my good friends. She literally has said that she wants to wait until she's 50 to start having kids. And I'm just looking at her like, why?
I'm
But
definitely not doing that.
she's
Definitely
like,
not doing
I'm
that.
okay with that. Exactly. Like, no,
No.
I mean, I have a cousin who had a child when she was 44, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that kid may have a couple of issues, but it's scary because you just never know which. I mean, just even having a
And
kid
that's
at
what I'm
pregnant.
afraid of. Like I'm scared of that. Like I would love to have a baby of my own, like to have them, but the likelihood that something could be wrong or something could go wrong with me, I don't want to risk it. I am open to adoption.
Okay.
Yeah, I am open to adoption. Like I would.
There's
Yeah,
so
I
many
would I
kids
would
that
adopt.
they need
Hmm?
homes. There's so many kids that need homes.
I know. And I wouldn't even get like a baby, like an infant. I wouldn't even do that or whatever. Like, give me a walker talker. Give me one of them.
Yeah.
Like
I
somebody
think
that
that
could
would be
communicate.
beautiful. You know, once you're established, get down in Florida, get everything going and you feel good and,
Yeah, I
or
would I
whatever.
would be open to it.
Yeah.
I think I gotta talk him into it because
Does he have kids?
he has a 22 and a 19-year-old.
Oh, yeah. He ain't trying to do that shit.
Yeah, they're grown.
He probably enjoying life. He like,
He might be I don't know. He like kids. So he
he do
might.
like kids? Okay.
Yeah, he right. And he an empty nester now. The 19-year-old just joined the army.
Oh,
So he gone.
wow.
So it ain't he don't got nobody here. He don't have nobody to take care of now. So he might be open to it. Who knows?
You never know. But a lot of these kids need good role models and stuff. I was thinking about this earlier when I was thinking about the questions I was going to ask you, but a lot since I've been in the military or when I was in the military, I've never met so many people that were adopted because I came across so many people who looked a certain way, appeared to be very much ingrained in their culture, but
Mm-hmm.
all of their spouses were of another. And it seemed like every time I asked them, dang, why you married outside your race? Like, why you didn't get, just
Mm-hmm.
teasing them or whatever. And they're like, I don't know. I didn't really grow up around that. I was like, really? Where you from? Da, 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 da. Oh, I was adopted. What? I probably
Yep.
met at least 10 people that were adopted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And of course they gravitate what they're used to, what their culture is, because their culture is who
Yep.
they were raised by. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But it was just interesting. But I mean, and all of these people that I've met that were adopted were fantastic hard workers. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I met a
So
few people that were adopted, and I think that kind of opened me up to that idea. Like, that could be something that really might work. You're actually producing functional adults
you're
instead of what you
changing
see on
somebody's life.
TV. I mean, because you see the stuff on TV and you're like, the rude, the loud, you're not my mom, you're not my dad, da 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 da. Like,
Not always the case.
right? Like, don't give me one of those.
Right.
That's not gonna work for me. My mouth too smart for that. Don't give me
Okay.
one of those.
Then it had to turn that one back in. Like, this one ain't gonna work.
And I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that person. Like, yeah, you get return to sender. Like, I don't want to be that person.
Right. Okay, I got one last question for you.
Yes.
So just living life and being who you are, you know, a Black woman in America and everything, dealing with ups and downs, struggles, life circumstances, and all of that, and just dealing with day-to-day stuff. How do you, what are some of your love, self-care techniques that you utilize often or every day that keeps you going and keeps you positive? Because to be honest, I could see you on the street. I would never think, number one, you're 41. I would never think that you ever had cancer. I would never look at you and think, oh, this woman, you know, lost her mom at a certain age. Her dad died when she was, 18. Brother killed, and I would never look at you and say, okay, you look like what you've been through. So what is it that you do in order to stay just grounded?
For me, I walk. So I do go for my walks in the morning or whatever, just to kind of get the day started or whatever. It started out with me just walking my dog and just taking him for walks or whatever. But then once he got crazy big, I gave up on that, and I kept walking though. The gym, I do work out with a trainer just to kind of keep me active. Once I got the medical clearance to start working out again, because I couldn't work out for like 2 years, so almost closer to 3, I couldn't do anything. So I gained a whole lot of weight. I got
How much?
So big. I'm short, so I'm only 5'2". I was knocking on 180. And
whoa,
right,
that
so
is big. Yeah.
I had gained all of this weight, but of course everybody around me is pretending like I'm not big as a house, but I am.
You look good, girl. It's all in the right
spot.
Like,
no, you're not that big. You didn't get that big. But I'm looking at the scale and I am knocking on 180, and I'm like, I'm 5'2". This is not no. So once I was able to, it just made, I had some serious like self-esteem issues. It was messing with my mental health. I just didn't feel like myself. I didn't feel good at all. I was depressed. My self-worth was just, like I just didn't like myself. I didn't like the way I looked. I didn't like the way I felt. So once I started like working out again or whatever, it kind of just gave me that energy, and I started to really feel like myself again. Like, because I was going through those surgeries and everything. My boobs are messed up. It messes with your feminine energy, because let's be real, your breast, your body is a part of you as a woman, especially your breast. And I just felt just blah all the time. Like I just didn't. So I kind of had to figure out what I needed to do to, one, I needed to keep myself busy. For me personally, keeping myself busy helps, because when I'm bored, I overthink. So I just keep moving or whatever, and working out, getting back into the gym. I was never like a gym rat or somebody who enjoyed working out. I was never that person. But just the basic stuff like me walking, it just gives me peace. Like it just helps me get my energy together. Like I feel better after I work out. Like I just feel better on the inside after I work out or whatever. And whether I'm doing a whole lot or I'm doing a little, it just kind of gives me that feeling. Plus the basic self-care of like, I get to do what I want with my hair now. I get to do what I want with my nails now. Like, and everybody's like, you keep coloring your hair, you keep dyeing your hair. And I'm just like, the military stifled my creativity. I want to be able to do whatever I want to do with my hair now. So it's just those things, those little things to regular people. It was a lot for me. Like it just made me feel better for me.
Good. I don't think a lot of people realize how important physical activity is, and just getting outside and letting that natural sun get on your skin. It because they say that the sun acts as a hormone once it enters the skin. And so I notice too, sometimes if I'm feeling really down, if I just go outside and sit, or if I take a
Mm-hmm.
walk and I just let the sun get on me for a little bit, it can totally change my mood. You know what I mean?
It does.
Um, but yeah, being physical and things like that definitely helps, because you got to think, just physical activity in itself helps the gut move. It
Yep.
helps you to excrete. If you eating unhealthy and all of the different crap that we put in our body, all that processed
Yep.
shit, which is where I think a lot of cancer comes from, honestly. A lot of processed food, a lot of stuff sits in our gut. I have gut issues, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, and you're not getting rid of it the way we're supposed to. All of that stuff affects everything. It affects your
Yep.
mood, your hormones, your emotions,
Yep.
everything, you know. So just being active in itself gets a lot of things moving, and it's so important. And so I think it is good for self-care.
It
um
is. And I noticed that it helped me sleep better also.
wow.
It definitely helped me sleep better. Because I had insomnia real bad. But I've been dealing with insomnia since like 2010 at least, and whatever.
Wow.
And they always just give me like medication. They just take this pill, take this pill, take this pill. This will help you. This will help you. Are you still tired? You still groggy? Yes.
Yes.
I'm not. I'm not sleeping. So they're just like, oh, take this, take that, take this, and I'm just like, this ain't working. I'm
Wow.
just woke
Yeah.
with a buzz, but I'm woke.
Yep.
So it
So
never really
now,
helped. But I noticed like certain things like that definitely helps me. I'm tired at the end of the day. After I've worked out and walked, and I'm exhausted by the end of the day. So I'm like, all right, I want to lay down. I want to go to sleep now.
that's awesome. It's a good feeling, right? To get a good night's rest and wake up feeling like,
Absolutely.
yeah. And that sets
Absolutely.
the tone for the day, you know.
It does. And it helps with my evening. It helps me just relax and just, I can go to sleep and I'm cool. When I wake up in the morning, I feel refreshed and I'm able to get the day started.
Okay. Any last words, anything else that you would want to share with the people, or any words of wisdom, anything like that?
Yes. Um,
Okay.
do your self exams every month, ladies.
Good.
When it's time for you to get your mammogram, definitely step out there and get it. Definitely do what you need to do to take care of yourself and your family. Um, you're stronger than you think.
Stronger
You
than
can
you.
handle way more than you think you can.
I like that.
And resiliency is always there. You have it. You have the bounce back. You definitely have. We all have the bounce back. You just got to tap into it and find what brings you peace. If it's working out, work out. If it's praying, pray. If it's meditating, meditate. Whatever it takes to center yourself and bring that peace to you, you can bounce back from anything.
Absolutely. I love it. Last question. I thought I was done, but you talked about praying and all of that. And for me, some of the toughest times of my life is when I leaned on God, you know. And I think that the reason why a lot of people came into your life was because they were sent by God. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
God touched them, put certain feelings into their heart in order for them to move, in order to help get you through. Do you have a spiritual relationship?
I'm not super religious. I'm not.
Me neither.
But I was raised in church. That was my entire childhood. I was raised in church, and I feel like when it comes to like religion and God, for me, I joke about it all the time, and I'm like, I feel like God sends me signs and he sends me people. Like I feel like he always puts angels in my life in my times when I need it. The lady that I was talking about, I feel like she was just an angel sent to me because I needed somebody and I just didn't have nobody at that time. So he just sent a stranger. Okay. But I always joke and I say, like, when God sends me signs, he know I'm hard-headed. So he always makes my signs like big and like deliberate. Like they're very like in your face, like,
oh, like, you know, it's him talking to
like,
you.
Like,
right?
I got it. Like, all right. I hear you. So I feel like those are usually when things come to me, that's usually how it comes. It comes loud and it comes big, and I'm like, okay, I get it, I get it. But because it'd be something that I'm even struggling with internally. I might not have even said it to anybody. I might not have even voiced it to anybody. It just might be something that I'm thinking about. It's heavy on my mind. Might have prayed about it, and then boom, it'll just be. I'm like, oh, okay, all
Wow.
right.
You know,
I
that
get
is
it.
a blessing right there, just because a lot of people aren't blessed, and a lot of people don't have that kind of favor from God to show you signs that are
Mm-hmm.
obvious and blaring to where you have to move, you know, in that
I think
direction
we are
because it's
though.
there.
I think people are blessed to get those things. I think people just don't listen.
Yeah.
I think because if you really think about it, I think people think back and be like, dang, like I knew that wasn't supposed to, or I knew something wasn't right. You got that feeling.
Yeah.
You had that, even if it's just that gut feeling, like, some just don't feel quite right about this. That might just be what,
That's
like
God.
that
Yeah.
nudge telling
You're
you,
right.
like, no, stop, don't do that. And then when it's over, you're like, man, I had a feeling something wasn't right about that.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
That
He
was your
does. He
sign.
sends us signs. He tells us
I
all the
feel
time.
like people get them. Yeah, you get the sign. You get that nudge. You just might not listen to it.
Yeah.
Like how people be like, always listen to your first mind, always like listen to that gut feeling.
Yeah.
You have
It's
to pay
usually
attention
not
to
gonna
the
steer you
signs. You gotta
wrong.
you get the signs, you get that feeling, but then you're like, nah, I'm gonna go ahead. Okay. And then you do
And
it
you
and you be
suffer the
like, I had a
consequences.
feeling something was wrong with that. Yeah. So
You're
for
not one of
me,
those I
since
told you so
I am
kind of
that
people, are you?
person,
Huh?
yeah, since I am that person, like I'm that person that's not gonna listen. I'm that person that's gonna be like, maybe I'm optimistic. I'm like, oh, I'll try it. No, it'll be fine. You gotta try. No, you don't. You don't have to. So that's why I say he make my signs very clear to me because I'm hard headed. I'll try.
Okay.
So now
Makes
I've
sense.
learned. It does. I just pay
And we're
attention
all
now.
still learning.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No matter how old we get, um, or how established we get, there's always room to grow and learn and get better
Absolutely.
until we die. But I want to thank you so much for doing this. You don't know how much I
Of
appreciate
course.
it, because I don't know. I was just like, let me see. I had a feeling you were gonna say yes, but so when you first was like, let me think about it, I was like, she gonna say yes. I ain't even. I could see her think about it and be like, you know. And then I felt bad, like, oh well, you know what? It's her story to tell. It ain't mine. I was like, but nah, I feel like she gonna do it, you know. So when you text me back, I was like, all right.
No, I was like, I appreciated it. I was like, I'm glad she's giving me the opportunity to tell my story. And I appreciated it. And I was just, I don't know. I don't even know what gave me pause at first. But once I really thought about it, I was like, I'll do it. It's Mo. I'll do it.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you so much. I wish you nothing but the best in your endeavors. I'm
Same to
glad you're still
you.
here with us. You honestly give me just a lot of like inspiration and hope.
Aw.
Just by being the way that you are, honestly. And a lot of times people downgrade themselves, or they don't know the value that they have until somebody
Mhm.
tells them. So I really wanted to do this too, just to give you your flowers now, rather than if something happened and it'd be like, oh, Robyn was such a good person. Da, da, da. No, I
Aw.
appreciate just the things that you do put online. Some are humorous, some are serious, some are just, introspective or whatever. But I like the overall arching idea and premise that you always put out there, which is always something positive and always to do better than what you are now. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so I appreciate that, because we need more positivity and we need more people teaching, just average people like you and I that are just living day to day.
Mhm.
Just hearing those positive words means a lot. It means a lot more to me when it's somebody I know saying it,
Mhm.
and I know the struggles they've been through, versus a celebrity or somebody online. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I just want to tell you that I appreciate the positivity that you put out there. And I know that, you're not done. So
I am not done. I want to pour that positivity into as many people as I possibly can, because honestly, because of the people that I've had pour into me. And there were positive people, even when I didn't want to hear it. There were so many positive people around me that was praying for me, that was telling me everything was going to be okay. That was definitely that positive energy, even when I didn't have any positive energy. They were enough positive energy for me. So
yeah,
I try to pour that into people and just let everybody know, like, don't always feel like you're in competition with people. Don't always feel like you have to be the only one that knows some shit or that's doing some shit. Like, spread it, give it. If you know something that I don't know and I'm doing something wrong, tell me, help me, especially
absolutely.
us.
Right.
We need to help each other. Like,
Yeah.
and that's a whole nother thing. But
Right.
I'm very much into that. I'm very much into supporting my black people. I'm very much so into supporting my sisters. I just want us all to be inclusive. Like, I want us to all be there and support one another. And maybe if someone sees me doing it, they'll do it. And if someone sees
Absolutely.
them doing it, they'll start doing it. And maybe it could just all turn into a whole snowball effect, hopefully.
Yep. Absolutely. I remember one time I was wanting to do like a mentorship thing with young girls, and
Mm-hmm.
somebody I knew had posted on her Instagram or something like that. Hey, I'm developing this idea where I'm gonna start mentoring the youth, da da da. And my first thought was like, oh, that was my idea. I want to do that, right? And I had to check
Mm-hmm.
myself, like, wait a minute, why, why,
You don't
why
have to
am
be the only
I
one doing it.
right? I'm like, the more,
Yeah.
the better. Like, duh. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's room for everybody to go out and be an influence, a positive influence. Like, and
It
I had to
is.
check myself, that spirit, that envious, jealous, you know what I'm saying,
Yep.
spirit. And so a lot of times we have that, especially in our community, and we have to just
Mm-hmm.
overlook it. You know what I'm saying?
We do.
But I definitely want to bring you back whenever your schedule allows, and just have like maybe like me and you. I was telling Joe about this, and I was like, I'm gonna interview Robyn. What do you think? And he was like, oh no. And I was like, guess what? She said yes. And he was like, okay, okay. But I was
He
like,
get on my nerves.
what'd you say?
He gets on my nerves. But
I
that would be
know. That's
very.
why I think
That's
it would be
interesting.
great.
I'd be willing.
Okay. Because I want to
Yeah.
do something with me, you, and him. Just having a discussion. We'll pick a topic that we all kind of align with, and just kind of
Okay.
give our advice and our opinion on it, and expertise, or just opinions. You know what I'm saying? But I want it to be something that's going to be thought provoking, and
Okay.
what's the word? Not positive, but something that's gonna be do for good, not just gossipy
Okay.
or whatever. It's got to be, important, and that's gonna
I'm
affect people.
game. I'm all on board to argue with Joe.
Okay. I like to argue with him too, so but
Right,
we'll get
that's kind of
something
what we
going.
do. But no, I'm on board. Like, I think this was fun. I love the opportunity that you gave me, and yeah, I'm on board. I'm willing to do it.
Okay, all right, so I'll let you know when I set that up, and I'll get you on. Okay.
All right.
All right,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much. Take care. Love
No
you.
problem.
All
I'll talk to you later. Love you
right,
too.
bye.
Bye.